This is Andy Prof, Boxing Social Association with Betfred. I'm now joined by Herman Caicedo, the trainer of Luis Ortiz. Herman, we've just witnessed Deontay Wilder defeat Luis with a 7th-round stoppage victory. What was your thoughts on the fight?
Well, I thought the fight was going as we planned. I thought the fight and the game plan was going as we planned, disrupting, Wilder's rhythm, disrupting his offense, and it was working. And there's a reason that he's 42-0 with 42 knockouts. So it's unfortunate, but it's how it went.
Until the stoppage, was everything that was going with regards to the fight, was that how you'd planned it? Was that how you wanted the fight to go?
Yeah, that's exactly how we trained. We trained with, closing the distance from the angles, not coming in a straight line. If we were going to sit in front, you got to sit with some head bobs. You got to sit with some up and down movement. You can't just sit. And there were moments that he did just sit. And when he got hit and he got dropped, ultimately at the end, he wasn't sitting. He was going into a check move, and the punch came through the check move. He thought it was going to be one of those wild, crazy right hands, and he checked it, and it came straight. So kudos to Wilder for setting that up the right way behind a nice little slappy jab, and then he thought that slap was coming, and it came straight.
What were your instructions to Luis as the rounds were progressing, as a lot of people had Luis comfortably ahead on the cards?
To relax, continue doing what he's doing, manage the rounds, stay in the fight. Win or lose, the round is not necessarily as important as the pace and the game plan. Control the pace, control the game plan, and the rounds will determine in the end who wins the fight.
Was you surprised at all by just how well Luis was able to control the fight?
No, because in the first fight he was able to do the same thing, control the fight, and Luis was at 40% in the first fight. I knew he was at 100% or very close to 100% in this fight, so I knew that the way we were going to fight was going to be obviously in control and up in the cards. It was just, you cannot get hit with the right hand. You got to take one punch away from Wilder. That's it. If there's going to be a heavyweight that can do that, I don't think he's been born yet. But that's what you got to do. Take one punch away from Deontay Wilder. If you can do that for 36 minutes, you have a shot at winning. If not, you're getting knocked out.
I know you have the experience from the first fight of how to deal with that right hand and how powerful it is. But when Deontay caught Luis with the right hand prior to the stoppage, was he telling you that he could feel it again? What was his thoughts on it?
No, I asked him how's he feeling. He said I'm fine. No, they weren't flush. So yeah, he was aware he got hit, but they weren't flush. So it's just one of those things. Like you said, in boxing, you kind of dip when you should have ducked, and you can't reverse it. It is what it is. Moving
forwards, as I've said to other people, Luis has kind of been a boogeyman of the division for years. He hasn't really had that opportunity until Deontay presented him with two. Do you think a performance as good as that has kind of maybe put the other heavyweights on alert, maybe made it a bit more difficult for Luis to get another opportunity against one of the leading contenders in the division?
I sure hope it doesn't, because he's got a name now. He's got he doesn't have a title, but maybe he's the people's champ at this point. Maybe he's the fans' champ at this point. Maybe he's a guy that now can say, okay, we can make money with him now, because before they couldn't really make money with him. His name was on the rise, and he was too dangerous. Now he's still as dangerous, if not more. But now maybe his name now and recognition because of all this now. There can be a payday for them, and they can step up. I hope so, because that's ultimately all he wants to do, and that's what we want to do, is just fight the best.
I know it's a fight which you won't really want to talk about because you won't involve your fighter, but Wilder now lined up for that Tyson Fury rematch. What are your thoughts on their rematch?
I think Tyson's a very good boxer, and if he continues to stay at a distance and control the pace and use the same type of angles and really work behind a good jab, he has an opportunity to probably outpoint Wilder, but that's that's a very slim, because he was kind of doing it in the first fight in the probably the better half of the fight, but he got caught. And Wilder will come at him now in this next fight probably with a little, because Fury doesn't punch like Lewis. Fury has to beat you down, and eventually he gets the stoppage. If he punched like Lewis, and he does have the advantage in height, 6'10", so that's an advantage, but he doesn't carry the pop for being such a big guy.
And my final question, just away from both these fights, but sticking with the heavyweight division. In 2 weeks' time, we'll see Joshua Ruiz too. What are your thoughts on that one, Herm?
I hope Ruiz wins again. I think nothing of Joshua. Nothing. He's whatever. He shouldn't even be fighting.
What makes you say that?
He's a paper champ. He ran from everybody. He just set up. He got an easy win with Charles Martin. They paid over the top to get that belt, and after that, he just went on and beat up Vladimir Klitschko. That had never been the same since Emmanuel passed, and that was an easy fight for him. I think nothing of Joshua and Eddie Hearn, even less.
Herman Caicedo, thank you so much. Thanks, please, boxing.